Well, good morning. We are looking at Proverbs 22, and it's been a little different because instead of going from Proverbs 20 to 21, 22, 23, each chapter at a time, we're actually looking at a section here beginning in chapter 22 where we are looking at the 30 sayings. If you look in Proverbs 22 in verse 20, the writer says, "Have I not written to you 30 sayings of counsel and knowledge?" So we've been looking at these different sayings, and we're going to look at all 30 of them. And today we're on saying number 4. It actually shows up in verse 28. And this is the saying, Proverbs 22, verse 28. Do not move the ancient landmark that your fathers have set. Now, what in the world is he talking about? What does he mean when he says, don't move the ancient landmarks that the fathers have set? Here, he is essentially warning against stealing. We hate stealing. We hate it. Maybe people don't hate doing it, but everybody hates having it done to you. Nobody likes people taking things that belong to you for themselves. And so here we see this great principle. You know, kids instinctively know this. We instinctively know this. Just go to the nursery. And what do you have? You have a kid who has a toy. He's standing there playing with the toy, playing with his truck or playing with his ball, whatever. And here comes someone else and takes that truck, takes that ball or whatever. And instinctively the child cries because he knows it's wrong that someone has come and just taken that away. And the other kid who has taken it knows it was wrong to steal that, knows it was wrong to take that away. And we just instinctively know it's wrong to steal. It's just not right to take this. You know, 6 times in the Bible, this warning is given about moving the boundary stones. It says it 2 times in Deuteronomy. It says it once in Job, 2 times in Proverbs, and 1 time in Hosea. Deuteronomy 19:14 says this, "You shall not move your neighbor's landmark, which the men of old have set in the inheritance that you will hold in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess." Hosea actually compares the evil princes of Judah to those who move the ancient landmarks. When you buy a home, there are landmarks. There are marks that mark your property, and they are very exact, so that you can't take the landmarks and move them over so that you can steal some of your neighbor's land, maybe to put up a fence or whatever. Now here, in this context, it's very important because in an agricultural sense, you're taking the land which is enabling other people to come and have their animals feed and graze on your land, or they're able to raise up crops on your land. And you got to think about that even 1 acre or whatever could mean thousands of dollars, especially over the years. And it can be given over to someone else. Essentially, what they are seeking to do is to enlarge their land at the expense of someone else. And so the motivation here really is greed. He's telling them, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy, but rather be content with what you have. You know, Hebrews 13:5 tells us about contentment. Keep your life free from the love of money, which is where greed would come from, and be content with what you have, for he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. In other words, what he is saying is not just to be content in just a general moral sense, but he's saying that if you have Jesus, you have everything that you need. You don't need anything more. You can be content. Now, I realize that is a challenge for all of us. That is a challenge for me to just sit back and just be content in that regard. But nevertheless, the Lord has called us to do this, and we desire to be like Christ in this regard. Let us be people who are not greedy, who do not steal, but rather who are people who are content above all to have Jesus, who is the true treasure of heaven. I hope this is encouragement for you as we continue looking through the 30 sayings here of Proverbs. May the Lord richly bless you this day.